Hi, Nick Tockert here with the Historical Fencing Guild. Well, folks, it's been a while since I've done a video, and I'm waiting for everybody to arrive for practice. I'm having some health issues, so I got to do some build back up, and I thought you guys might be interested to see sort of how I get stretched out before practice, because these are things I do that, the window doesn't really get shown. So, when you want to start, you want to start close to your back. Okay, let's start. My favorite training tool for myself is still this. This is just a 3 foot, 3/4 inch dowel. Has chair legs. They're duct taped on because if I do a strike with a proper draw cut and the tip isn't taped on, it gets thrown off. What I mean by, okay, if I'm hitting this like I'm hitting it with a stick, just very smooth, keep the force through. But if I'm training like a knife, what you don't just want to hit, because you're not bludgeoning with the edge. You're bludgeoning. You want as much force transferred in. And see, this is why you practice, so I can realize, oh wow, I'm a little close, I'll catch with the end of that. Not necessarily a bad thing, it's a technique to use later, but even when you make mistakes, you should always be learning. But if you watch that, especially if I go more two-handed and my hands are on screen, so there's a draw motion. So what happens is, as I hit, I'm actually sliding. And you can tell, let me see if I can show you the wear pattern. This is fairly newly taped. Now, there we go. But you can see the abrasion. This isn't from impact. This abrasion comes from the slide at the end, which is why it's very important to duct tape your tips on. So I gotta move some stuff. Now, I like to go through some slow work just to let my motion, my arms get loosened up. What I'm doing here, it's staff work. I am doing full length staff work, but I don't need the arms. I don't need the full extension of my staff to practice the motion. You do it long enough, and it comes very natural. Now, it's incredibly important before you practice to do something to limber up. Now, I'll do some traditional stretches and things, but you also have to see, okay, I'm a fairly active guy despite my disabilities and stuff. Move couches around, oh, that arm's going to hurt. Finding out where you have catches before you fight will help you when you go to fight. Everything is about mindfulness, and being mindful of your condition as it evolves and changes day by day, hour by hour, will allow you to be a better fighter, a better survivor, and even a better person. So, I've made no secret that the book I'm working on currently, though it has been delayed, is The Strong Sword. It's going to be the sequel to The Simple Sword. And what you're going to see in that book, and in videos that I'm planning, will be a focus on precision strikes. Where The Simple Sword this is the fastest way to learn to sword fight safely, which I believe is classical fencing. Both from I enjoy the system, and from it is the safest to learn calibration. Okay, now I want to take it to the next level, and I want to do something either more aggressive, either more HEMA, or even more LARP, and I want to learn how to throw a shot. If you want to even SCA more heavy than light. Now, I was never an SCA heavy fighter. I did spend a lot of time training with them, and that's where I got most of my shield work, which, if people are interested in me doing a dedicated video on shield work in HEMA and SCA, etc. Basically, how to make shields go of different sizes. Please let me know. Apparently, my chickens are very annoyed with me, but we'll deal with them later. But a heavy bag is a common item. This actually came with my house. I love my house. This bag here kind of let me know that I was in the right place. And yeah, they're not intended for what I'm doing per se, but they make a wonderful pet. And the nice thing is it lets you do combination moves where when you start going from, competition or reenactment or LARP fighting into more aggressive either styles of that or actual self-defense, the idea of being able to elbow check and come around with a wrap shot, that's a lot of force I'm putting on it. You wouldn't think, and I'll get into that. We're going to talk about the difference between, a little shot hit. Because this is about, you can tell the volume. Hold on. Well, that will hit the force. Now, you can tell the sound changes. Yeah, I upped my speed marginally, but I did more things dynamically with my grip to achieve that. When you get two-handed, you get even more of that. And you'll see I do things innately that I realize I don't talk about. With a grip, most people, you have to adjust your grip even two-handed for the weapon you're fighting. It's not like, people think you get baseball bat swing, wham, let it do the work. You hear that? No. Okay, I'm going to do it one more time. Baseball bat. Yeah, effective, right? Do you hear the difference by knowing how to adjust your grip just a little bit? Oh. I'm thinking of doing a whole video on fighting with this as a system, like sort of a cane self-defense. If I do, I will probably be posting it up on the Patreon. Posting up for my patrons, because I really do owe them something special. And because I'm teaching this with a intent to do necessary harm, this isn't... On this channel, I focus on teaching calibration. At the end of the day, it's all about how to do it safely. When we're teaching for a survival mindset, the world's kind of edgy. You have to teach it differently, and I need to be careful how I disseminate that. There's always an obligation, a price, so I have to be cautious. But I will tell you this, if you are looking to start any weapon training, okay? And I'm going to do a whole thing on improvised weapons, and that might be part of what goes up on the Patreon. If it does, I'll do a formal announcement. But the best thing for anybody, if you don't know what style you want to learn, you don't know what school, what system, you don't know east, west, whatever. You just know you want to learn to make something go. Go down to the hardware store. Spend a couple bucks on a hardwood dowel that feels comfortable in your hands. I'm a big fan of about a 3/4 inch, just because it fits my hands. I have some people who are a little smaller, and they get tempted towards a 1/2 inch, but that can break. You have to be careful. Obviously, larger guys love that, 1 inch or even bigger, Find something comfortable. Get something to start about 3 feet long. Now, this is almost exactly, overall, the perfect length for a weapon for me by my wingspan, which, hold on, let's do it. Well, I can't do it in front of the camera, so we'll do it this way. Okay? It is almost exactly perfect. It's part of the reason why I like training with cane length sticks. Also, anybody who's been following this channel for any length of time knows I do occasionally walk with a cane. I make sure any cane I walk with is sturdy enough that if I have to defend myself And I can use the cane because it's a sliding scale on how much I'm leaning on the cane to function. I want to be familiar with it. So get yourself, like I said, great start. 3/4 inch. Get chair feet. It's only about $3 for 4 of these things. Something like that. Put them on, duct tape them on. That way, when you're doing, and see, I keep short shanking it, which is something I was working. You're seeing me working on leftovers of something I was working on last night. Keeps trying to clip back in. That's what happens when you practice a technique you've neglected a little while ago, which is basically a pommel strike from the draw. Now, pommel strike from the draw doesn't make a lot of sense unless you're in extremely close quarters or you don't have a sword and you're carrying a cane, and practicing just simply striking with the short end of the cane starts to have merit because we're talking about speed attacks. I'm leaking things I shouldn't because I'm, in my realm of play here. But get yourself one of these. And hopefully, when people arrive, we'll have some more sparring videos. We're trying to get back rolling on things. If not, I'll do some crafting content. If you have any questions, please like, share, subscribe. Also, I was asked how to get a hold of me on a video a little earlier. I came up on my YouTube studio. There are 2 good ways. You can email me direct, but frankly, my email gets bombed with a couple hundred messages a day. I might miss you. The best thing to do is look up on our good friend Facebook, HFG-Public. That is the public group for this channel. I made it so that you, my lovely viewers who don't necessarily want to get caught up in the YouTube commentary thing, can talk directly to me. You can address questions to, like, Trey or Jim or anybody else you see on the guild fighting. I can't guarantee they'll respond, but they're on there too. So I want you guys I want to build it as a network where the martial artists can discuss, you can plan, we can get better content so I can serve you. So I'm excited about that. I wanted to remind you that that's there. Other than that, remember, support your local swordmaster. Like, share, subscribe. Come on, you guys, you know the routine.